Today I'm going to be showing you an updated tutorial of how to create a simple MLO for GTA 5 or FiveM. First, what you want to do is obviously find a location for your MLO. This video, I'm just going to be using a random spot. Doesn't have to be the same spot, of course, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to find something easy. Let's say you wanted to add a garage here. What you would do is go to selection and move things around until you find the building. You can see this is the building model. Copy the name, go to Tools, RPF Explorer. Then once you're here, search it, and it doesn't really matter which one. There'll be multiple sometimes. Just export one of them and make sure it's all into one folder. Then what you want to do is open that same file, expand this, go to Materials, and save all textures. Make a new folder. In that folder that you exported it to, something like name textures, and put them in there. And next, what you want to do, go to YMap and copy the YMap name of the selected building. Paste the YMap name in the RPF Explorer and export this as well. Then what you want to do is change the selection mode to collision and select a part of the collision model. Copy the name. Then you're going to want to search this as well and export this and the hide model, the hi at symbol model. Then what you can do is go into Blender. You're going to need Solemns. I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you have the latest version from the GitHub page. First, what you're going to do is go to Import. Make sure all these options are off, except for the YMap ones, it doesn't matter. Solemns import, well, that's what the folder name is for me, but go to here and import everything except for the YMap for now. We just let it load. And what you're going to do is press V and press Find Missing Textures. And go to the file or folder you saved the textures to. Actually, let me turn on screen key. Called. Now you can see what I'm pressing. Now what you want to do is go to Solemns, import CodeWalker XML, and import the YMap. As you can see, the buildings haven't moved. That's because it's been updated so that it duplicates the buildings instead. What you can do is go ahead and just delete the buildings. Or delete the building, I guess you could. And then it should be default keybind to go to the model, period on the numpad. I'm gonna hide the collisions for now. And unhide the YMap. What you can do is unparent it from the YMap and change the name so it's not .001. Now we can go ahead and start editing the mesh. Obviously, I hope by now you know the basics of Blender, but I'm just gonna show it anyways. Make sure you save. Then what you want to do is add a new plane and snap it to the building. Easier to use a plane than a cube because it's easier to manipulate the mesh. I'm just going to do a very basic shape. In this video, I'm probably going to show you how to create a multiple room MLO, so that might help you as well. So let's say you wanted to have a back room or something for this. What I would do is extrude the door frame out a bit. Actually, just select all the way around. Extrude it a tiny bit. Then I would just duplicate this wall. Now what we're going to do is go up here, select face orientation. What blue means it will, or it's good, pretty much. Easiest way to explain it. Red means it's not. So just select everything that's red on the inside, and once you have it all selected, I'll show you what to do next. Press Alt-N and then flip. Do that until everything's blue on the inside. Looks like we're good. Turn that off. This will just be our basic MLO for now. What you're going to do is select the plane. I'm using an add-on called Machine Tools, I believe, but you can still do it with default Blender. I'm just going to center the origin to the geometry. To do it with default Blender, you go to Set Origin, Origin to Geometry, I believe. Now what we're going to do is just rename this to something like Location. Make sure you have the transforms and scale. The rotation and scale. Actually, rotation doesn't matter. Just make sure the scale is 1 for all of it. Okay, now next what you're going to do is, once you have the thing modeled, what you're going to do is duplicate it and put it to the origin of the Blender, or the Blender world. And you can teleport to it with numpad, period, whatever. And now what we're going to do is rename this to something like MLO underscore tutorial underscore shell, like that. And then we're going to do create drawable. Again, that's with pressing V or holding. You can also do it in here. Create, and then just like that. Now what we're going to do is go ahead, go to shader tools and create a new default shader. Then what we're going to do is find a texture to put on it. So to apply the texture, go to shading and open up here. Of course, any material works as long as it's DDS format and the proper resolution. Something like this will work for now, as it's not supposed to be like a... Actually, I've just realized this needs to be... No, it doesn't. So now what we're going to want to do, select the mesh, go to collision tools, go to create bounds, and turn off replace original and create a bound composite. Then what you want to do is rename this to something like MLO and click the bound geometry BVH and apply the default flag preset. Then select the poly mesh, remove the material that's applied already, go to collision tools, go to create collision material, and something like, you can also control F to search. So you just search brick. And what you're going to do is select the collision material, go to the room ID, and set it to 1. And you're probably going to want to make another collision material of the same thing. And make sure this is 0. So set everything to the one that's 0, and then select the floor of the first room. Set this to the one that's room ID 1. And create another one, and set this to 2. And select part of the second room, or the floor of the second room, and set it to 2. Then what we can do is go to archetype definitions, create a new Y type, and rename it. Select the shell, make sure it's set to base, auto create from selected. Then select the MLO one and change it to MLO and auto create from selected. I'm just going to embed the texture just for now. Ideally, you wouldn't use embedded textures, but this is just a tutorial, so. Now go to MLO, make sure it's the MLO type, and go to rooms and create limbo room. Then what you want to do is create room, and then select the mesh of the first room. Then scroll down, go to set bounds from selection. Rename it to something like front room or something like that. I don't think you can have spaces or underscores. I'm not entirely sure, but to play it safe, I wouldn't do it. And create another room, select the mesh of the second room, and set the bounds. Then what we're going to do is select limbo, select your shell, go to entities and adds from selected. Make sure it's attached to the limbo room. Next, what you want to do is select the first room and then go to portals and go to edit mode on your MLO collision mesh. Select 4 vertices around the doorway. Then click create portal from verts. Sometimes there'll be an error down here that says something code planier or whatever. Just ignore it. Most of the time it doesn't matter, but just if you do have issues in game with the portals, that could be why. It's usually not an issue though. And then what you want to do is make sure you have the first room selected. Scroll down and where it says room from, whatever is on the back side of where this arrow is facing. So room from front room to limbo. Limbo means outside pretty much. Then what we're going to do is select the back room and then select the vertices around the second doorway. Great. Set from back room to front room. Next, what you're probably going to want to do is import this. Sometimes there'll be an error. There's a bug right now that if you don't have the MLO archetype selected, it'll bug out and crash your game when you load in. So make sure you have this selected when you're exporting the XML. Now what we can do is go ahead and export these. Make sure you have selected only on. Go to export and MLO tutorial. And next, what you're going to want to do is go back over here. Go ahead and export the building. Lastly, we're going to remove the collisions so you can walk inside. So unhide the collisions. The way I prefer doing this is go to select the poly box, collision box, whatever, go to general tools, debug, and then change this to bound poly mesh, and then set solemn type. And now we can go into edit mode and snap it to the edges of the building. Let's go ahead and remove the mesh here and fill in the gap here. Make sure you center the origin after. We can do the exact same thing for the high version of the collision. And we can go ahead and export the collisions as well. Now we can go back into CodeWalker, go to the RPF Explorer, make sure it's in RPF, any RPF, literally any RPF works. You can make a new one, doesn't matter, but make sure you have it in RPF for it to work in CodeWalker. Go ahead and drag your XML files in here. Go ahead and restart CodeWalker. Go ahead and click New Project and make a new Y map. Then what we're going to do is go back into Blender, select the location model, go to scripting, and type, I'll leave it in the description, just put this into the console. This just gets you a string of the locations so you can put it right into CodeWalker. Copy that, go to your Y map, click Y map, new entity, and then paste in the position. You can click go to. Then what you want to do is change the name to the collision name. So we're going to change it to MLO tutorial. Wait, what did I name it? Hold on. I named it MLO tutorial MLO like a dumbass, but and as you can see, pretty much working fine. I don't think I exported the building, but then what you want to do is go to the Y map, calculate all flags, and calculate extents. And you can go ahead and save it. Save it to your stream folder if you're a resource. Make sure you rename the Y map as well. Save a CodeWalker project if you want, it's optional. And what you're going to do is go and put your other files into your resource. Do so, go to your RPF Explorer and just drag them into their folder. Then make sure you open up your Y type in your project with your Y map, and then generate a manifest. So open up the Y type, then click Tools, Manifest Generator, Generate, and Save. Make sure you're on the latest DLC too. I don't know if that's why this is a thing. There we go. As you can see, it should be good. Obviously, there's terrains here that you have to go through and edit it, but I'm not going to go through the effort of doing that just for this video. So next, what we're going to want to do is probably change the time cycle in the Y type. We go to Rooms, select this, and I'll leave a link to time cycles in the description as well. But I have a few that I've written down that work decently well. Make sure they're all in lowercase as well when you enter these. Save the Y type. The portals are all good. Rooms are all good as well. Now we can go ahead and close out of this. Shut up our resource. Okay, it looks like I forgot the collisions, but see, this is what I mean. The portal is probably a little fucked up, but obviously you can tweak that and shit. But for the most part, the MLO works. Not sure why the collision's not working, but I think I might just not be using the right file, to be honest. But there might be another collision file that I need to import. Do you know what it could be? Hope that helps, and let me know in the comments if you have any issues. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future.